here. Well, thanks for showing up. I appreciate that. Where's here? Well, here is Red Moose Ranch, just in case you're brand new to this channel. Today we're gonna set patio pavers right there. I have a product in mind that we don't have yet, so I have to run to town to get it. And town is a little over an hour drive away. So I have to hook up the cargo trailer and get these patio pavers. These pavers that I'm gonna get are 16 inches by 16 inches. They're made out of concrete. They weigh 36 pounds a piece. So this patio is going to extend roughly from that hydrant all the way over to the corner of the building right there. And it's gonna come out just under the eave right there. So I did the math and I need 75 pavers, which consequently weighs 2,700 pounds. That's quite a bit. So I'm gonna put most of it in that trailer, that cargo trailer. We'll hook it up here pretty soon. And the rest I'll throw in the back of the truck. So it's 7:15 right now. So let's hook up that trailer so we can run to town. It's gonna be a hot one today. I'm not sure how much we're gonna get finished other than getting product. We may have time to do some leveling, spread some gravel out over there. One way or another, we'll do what we need to do. So thanks again for stopping by. This is gonna be a fun one. Guess who gets to load these by hand? Yeah, I do. That's the problem with having a ramp. Do what we have to do. So if you want to grab one side, I'll grab the other and we'll... Okay, I'm tired now, but I got some help. So let's hit the road. Okay, we made it. I wanted to get a little bit of weight off of that trailer. I know it's going to be sitting overnight, and I just didn't want all that weight on there, but I think it's okay right now. I'm going to do a little bit of tractor work right now before it gets too warm. Well, actually, it is getting kind of warm, but that's okay. Here, let me show you what I'm going to do. So the new patio surface is going to be at the level of the top of that concrete right there to roughly about 2 inches above that insulation line you see right there. So I have to bring in some gravel and some dirt just to build that up a little bit right there. And when you stand back here, you can see that there's a lot more of the foundation showing over there than there is even right there. So I'm gonna build up this corner in general. So I'm just gonna take my shovel and I'm gonna pull some of this gravel away. I don't wanna bury it all necessarily. And then I'm gonna dump some dirt right there as well and build that whole area up right here. At this point, I don't have any plans on having any sort of a border or anything like that on the outside of this patio. It's just going to terminate right against the gravel, kind of like I did several years ago with this cheap little pad I put underneath the grills. So I have a pile of dirt I'm going to use that over there behind the woodshed. I'll go get the dirt from over there when we need it. But for now, like I said, I'm just going to take my shovel and pull some of this gravel back, and then I'll take the bucket with the tractor and pull some gravel back. And that way I'll have it sitting right here to put over the new dirt. Okay, we are back at it again this morning. Here's where we are so far. That level you see right there is level. But on this side, you see that I have a rock under there, so that's raised up about 1.25 inches-ish. And we have about 6 feet between post and building. Actually, we have about 7 feet between post and building. So that means we have less than 1/4 inch fall, which is what I want. I want a little bit of a slope here. Inevitably, there's going to be some snow under there. It'll get wet once in a while. I just want everything to drain away from the cabin if possible. The cabin is on a thick slab, so it probably won't make any difference, but I don't want any water pooling up in front of the door and creating an icy patch or anything like that. So that paver is where we need to be. I put a black line right above that paver, measured from the siding down to that line, and then put another line on the other end. I'm going to assume that the siding is level. It's level enough for me. There's my marks right there. And you can see by looking at the general slope of the dirt, it's probably a little low right there. Just a tad bit high, maybe back at that mark, not much. And that's where we need to be. Kind of like in concrete, I have a screed board. So it's relatively straight. So I'll use that to make sure everything is flat, make sure my distance is good from the ground to my levels I need to be. It's handy to scrape material away when you have too much. And when you don't have enough, you can see right underneath it. So it's handy to have one of those. So you saw how powdery this dirt can be. This dirt gets to a point when if you have a certain lack of moisture and you keep moving the dirt around and working it, it just becomes powder. It literally becomes a liquid form. It gets to a point where you could take a bucket of this stuff, dump it on the ground, and it'll flatten out naturally. It's crazy. Powder. It's like talcum powder, and that's no exaggeration. If I was in the city and didn't have my own materials around here, I would first put down a bed of rock, tamp that down good. Then on top of that, I would put a thin layer of sand, just to make sure your pavers have something to settle into. When I built the shed on the coast, maybe you remember that. Well, here, this dirt is gonna be the sand. All the rock that was underneath there, that was all compacted already. I'm not worried about that. So this will be my sand. I'm probably gonna need 2 more loads of dirt, one in this corner right here. I'm not sure you can tell, but that's the lowest spot, is this corner. I don't want the edges to slough off. So I gotta bring my level, my pad as it were, I gotta bring that out at least a foot or so past my last paver all the way around. The other end won't be a big deal because it's slowly going uphill, so that'll be fine up there. I just need to build this up a little bit more down here, and then probably one more scoop in the middle I'll rake out. It's a cooler, cloudy day. I'm happy about that. Let's get on that tractor and go get some dirt. Okay, we are just about to a spot where we can start laying pavers. So those 3 pavers, they are all on the correct plane right now. They're all good vertically. They aren't in their positions yet horizontally, but they're the height we need. So I'm going off of these. So the slant between that base and that paver is the same as the slant over here that I showed you earlier. So these pavers are 16 inches. This base is 12 inches. Yeah, I know, poor planning on my part. But it'll be fine. It'll be fine because I'm basically going to use up a whole tile, a whole paver's worth of space right here. I know obviously this isn't big enough, but I have some dark pea gravel I'm going to put around there to fill in this gap around here. If you see that 16-inch mark right there, that red mark, so that is 1 inch away from this base. That 16-inch mark is also 1 inch away from that base over there. So this is where we want it. So we want our first tile to be butt up against here and stick out 1 inch here, and then we're good to go. So if you've ever done this sort of thing before, you know it's a lot of trial and error. Level a spot, check it, tamp it, level it again, check it, tamp it, you know, that sort of a thing. So I'm not showing you every minute detail of this process because it's just tedious, and you know, I'm after scintillating video. I want you to walk away going, you know, that was really a scintillating video experience. If you have that, I'm happy. And if I'm happy, Karen's happy. I just took a measurement, a depth measurement around those bases, and I need about 1/8 to 1/4 inch more of height around there. So I'm gonna rake just a little bit more dirt in a couple of different areas, and then I'll be ready to set pavers. I have this pile of really super fine gravel. I'm gonna use this for my top coat, if you will. If I need to raise up a paver, I'll sprinkle a little bit of this underneath it. Give me the height I need. Easy to work with. It'll be good to go. Okay, I have good news and bad news. The good news is this is nice and flat, straight. The bad news, I have to move them. Why? Because remember when I said these are 16 inches? I never thought to actually check. They're more like 15 inches and 5/8. So there goes my planning. So that 1 inch gap in between the posts that I planned on having isn't going to be 1 inch. Just so I know for sure, I'm going to put a row this way between the posts and see where we end up. I know I'm going to have to take this whole column and slide it this way, probably an inch or so. I don't think that's any big deal. It's just more work. But before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dress this up out here, wet it down just a little bit. I'm going to roll on it, tamp it with the tractor, and then I'm going to spread some gravel back up on it and get closer. That way I can take my trailer, back it up here, and then I'm closer to the pavers, or they're closer to me. There's always something. Oh, by the way, this level, I don't think I ever did explain this to you. This didn't go exactly as planned. Remember when I refurbished this, as it were? Well, I put this orange marking paint on, and what I didn't know was the orange marking paint, and it was very old. I'm not sure if that was the reason or not, but that marking paint, that can was honestly almost 20 years old. Amazing it still worked. But that marking paint came out really chalky. Even after about 3 days, that's how long it took to dry, it still came off on my hands. So then I took a coat of clear polyurethane and coated the whole thing. Well, when I put that poly on, if I brushed too hard, it actually took up some of that orange paint. So it's kind of funky, but you know what? It's good enough. As long as it's straight, that's all that matters. Okay, I have that line established. It's right here. That paver is about 3 inches away from this column base. And on this side, that first paver is about 1 inch away. So I'm no mathematician, but I need to slide this over 1 inch. And then I'll have a good 2 inch gap on both sides. Okay, making progress. We have a corner. And once you have a corner, the hard part is finished. So I have it as long as I need to go over on that side, all the way to that end. So my full length is established. That row is level. It's flat. Now I just have to bring everything out this way. So what I found handy is when I set my paver down, I want the dirt underneath it flat, of course, but I want that paver to be about 3/16 of an inch higher than the two pavers around it, or the pavers around it. That way it gives me room to step on it, tamp it down, make sure it's locked in tight. You're still here. I'm surprised I'm still here. This is hard work. Holy cow, raise your hand if you're a sweaty mess. I am. My gosh. You know, just when I start feeling sorry for myself, I think about the olden days. I think when you get older, you just think about the olden days. But I think about like the buildings, the churches that are 200 feet high and they use nothing but horses and ropes and pulleys, and it's just amazing to me. So I'm not going to complain too much, just a little bit. I'm on my second last row. One more outside of these columns, and that's it. Trailer's empty. Emptied the truck. I figure if I can keep from passing out, that'll be a good thing. Okay, it's not quite that bad. All right, I gotta get back to work. This patio will not lay itself. Well, that's it. The patio is finished. That was a big job. Not only is the patio finished, this whole entry cover series is finished. What do you think? Wow, what an improvement, huh? Man, it just looks like it's always been there. That's a good thing. Well, I am beat. I gotta get in the shower. I am a dirty mess. So you just come back next week. Hopefully I'll be clean by then. I just want to give a special thanks to Smell-O-Vision for not existing yet.